The city had been burning for 3 days. Ash fell like snow across the shattered skyline of Varrin, once a thriving city now reduced to twisted steel and hollowed buildings. Through the haze of smoke and the echo of collapsing concrete, Lieutenant Sarah Cole crouched behind a broken wall on the edge of the old financial district, the last safe corridor for the evacuation convoy. Her headset crackled. "Command, this is Viper 1. Sector Charlie is gone. Repeat, Charlie is overrun." Static swallowed the rest. Sarah closed her eyes for a heartbeat. That meant her flank was gone. The last friendly unit had fallen back. And now, she was alone. The sun was setting behind the ruins, washing the city in a red glow that looked more like blood than light. Her M4 rested across her lap, the metal warm from hours of firing. Around her, spent casings littered the ground like brass pedals. Down below, 24 civilians, families, children, hurried across the exposed avenue toward the evacuation point. They had 500 meters to cover, no reinforcements. And a drone feed had just confirmed enemy infantry moving in from the east. Sarah didn't hesitate. She reached for her rifle, checked her last magazine. 17 rounds. Not much, but enough. She whispered to herself, "You don't leave them behind. Not now." The first burst of enemy fire cut through the air, snapping concrete above her head. She leaned out, took a breath, and returned fire. 3 short, perfect bursts. 3 targets dropped. Her hands moved with the mechanical precision of someone who had done this too many times, in too many cities that no longer existed. A child stumbled below. Sarah shifted position, lined up her sight, and took out the shooter, aiming for the child's back. The mother looked up, eyes wide, meeting Sarah's through the smoke and distance. Sarah didn't wave, didn't shout. She just reloaded, as if to say, "Keep moving." Her radio crackled again. "Cole, where are you? We're pulling out." It was Captain Reyes, her CO. Sarah pressed the transmit key. "Still covering evac route. Last convoy's not clear." "Negative, Cole. That's a direct order." The line went dead. Whether from static or silence, she didn't know. She took position on the edge of the roof, where her sniper rifle, a battered M110 she'd carried since Mosul, rested on its bipod. Below, the evacuation convoy was loading the last group of civilians. Above, the drone camera still blinked, streaming every second to whoever was watching. Maybe command, maybe no one. Sarah adjusted the scope, dialed the windage, and began her final defense. The first enemy squad appeared between the ruins, ghost-like shapes in the smoke. She took a breath. Exhaled. 1. The lead scout fell. 2. The man with the RPG dropped before he could shoulder it. 3. The last one turned, too slow. The air grew hotter. The sound of distant artillery merging with the heartbeat in her ears. Sarah kept firing. Her voice was steady in the open channel. "Civilians are moving. Hold fire on Corridor Bravo." No one responded. Her last magazine ran dry just as the final truck roared to life. She could have left. She could have run for the extraction point 300 meters away. But then she heard it. A scream from the convoy's rear. A civilian truck had broken down. The enemy was closing in. Sarah didn't think. She acted. She dropped from the roof, landing hard, rolling through dust and broken glass. Her legs screamed in protest, but she kept moving. She drew her sidearm, 1 magazine, 12 rounds, and sprinted through the ruins toward the stranded vehicle. A group of civilians huddled behind the broken truck. A young man, an old woman, and a medic trying to restart the engine. "Get them in!" Sarah barked, stepping between them and the incoming fire. Bullets ripped the air around her, slamming into the wrecked metal. She fired back, controlled, deliberate. Every shot found its mark. Her magazine clicked empty. She drew her combat knife, pressed her back against the truck, and said quietly, "You'll make it out." "That's an order." The medic hesitated. "Lieutenant, you, go." The engine coughed, sputtered, then came alive. The truck lurched forward, speeding toward the evacuation point. Sarah stayed behind. The enemy was close now. Silhouettes moving through the smoke, voices shouting in a language she didn't understand. She crawled to a fallen soldier's body, took his rifle, checked the chamber. Half a mag left. Enough to make it count. She dragged herself behind a concrete barrier and opened fire one last time. Every round was placed with surgical precision. Every movement measured, calm, almost peaceful. When the last round left the barrel, she lowered the rifle, breathing hard, blood running down her leg. The convoy was gone. The city was silent except for the wind and distant thunder. Sarah leaned against the wall, eyes closing. Her radio clicked alive one final time. "Evac convoy clear. All civilians accounted for. Who is this?" She smiled faintly, pressing the transmit key. "This is Cole." Mission complete. No reply came. The last thing the drone captured before the feed went dark was her silhouette, standing on the edge of the burning city, rifle slung low, watching the horizon. Weeks later, a recovery team found her body near the old finance tower. Next to her, scratched into the concrete with a bullet casing, were 3 words: "Hold the line." The footage from her helmet cam was later recovered and declassified. It showed a soldier who never retreated, never surrendered, and never stopped protecting those she swore to defend. When the city fell, she stayed. When hope died, she became it. And when command replayed that final 17 minutes, every man in the room stood in silence. They called her the Guardian of Varrin, the soldier who held the line when the city fell.